Before the world awakens, when the air still hums with the song of silence, there lies a hidden kingdom, untouched by human hands. Between marble vines and golden trees stands a palace, carved not by time, but by mystery. Some say it was built by nature herself. Others whisper it was a gift from gods. As dawn paints the jungle in shades of amber, a golden mist rises over a marble villa, glowing softly, breathing quietly. Inside these royal walls lives a creature unlike any other. Small, graceful, born of the wild, yet living like a king. The tiger cub of wild Royale. His fur glows beneath sunlight like melted gold. His eyes, two blue sapphires, calm yet commanding. He is not just an animal. He is a symbol of silence wrapped in luxury. Every morning, as the first rays touch the villa gates, golden fountains come alive. Water dances in marble bowls. Birds hum like royal trumpets. The cub walks slowly through the courtyard, each paw step soft against silk carpets laid beneath his throne. The jungle bows in quiet reverence, for even the trees know this is no ordinary beast. There are no guards, no servants, no sound, only the hum of gold against stone. Yet nothing feels empty. The silence here isn't loneliness, it's power. In every shimmer, in every breath of wind, you can feel the presence of something divine, as if the villa itself is watching over him. They say legends are born from pain, but this one was born from perfection. His story doesn't begin in the wild, it begins in gold. Welcome to the Silent Kingdom.
Long before the villa rose from the ground, the jungle was just silence, and the silence was pain. Beneath the shadow of the banyan trees, a cub was born, small, trembling, and alone. His mother never returned. The wild gave him birth, and then forgot him. For days, the cub wandered through the fog, drinking from muddy streams, hiding from the rain, until his paws no longer carried him. But destiny moves in silence. One night, as thunder split the sky and lightning burned the clouds, something stirred in the heart of the jungle. A glow, soft and gold. The cub lifted his head. Before him, light poured down like liquid fire, tracing shapes into the ground, a doorway of gold forming from nothing. And in that moment, the forest changed forever. The cub stepped forward, weak, curious, fearless. His paws touched marble for the first time. The golden light surrounded him, wrapping around his tiny frame like silk. The storm faded, and all that remained was silence and a glowing villa behind him. From that night on, the jungle had a heartbeat, the sound of a legend being born. Days turned into weeks. The cub grew stronger, his fur shimmering like sunlit honey, his eyes glowing bluer than the sky. He learned to walk through marble halls, to rest upon velvet cushions, and to drink from fountains that never dried. But the palace had no voice, no footsteps, no owner. Only the cub and the echo of his destiny. Some say the palace built itself around him. Others believe the spirits of forgotten kings chose him as their heir. Whatever the truth may be, the golden cub had found his throne.
And so began the legend of Wild Royale, a kingdom ruled not by men, but by a creature of silence, raised in gold, destined for eternity. The golden villa breathed softly as the sun climbed higher. Warm rays slipped through carved marble arches, and with every passing second, the palace revealed a little more of its silent soul. Inside this sanctuary, the tiger cub moved like the first whisper of morning, gentle, quiet, yet carrying a presence that filled the entire realm. Nothing in this palace existed without purpose. Every corner, every reflection, every shift of light seemed crafted for him alone. The marble floors shimmered like still water, catching the glow of his golden white fur as he walked with slow, measured steps. It was as if the villa recognized him, not as a guest, but as the heartbeat around which it was built. He never growled, he never roared, yet the entire place responded to him. Fountains softened their flow when he neared. Curtains of mist parted as if guided by unseen hands. Even the jungle sounds outside reduced to a gentle hum, respecting the quiet royalty within these walls. This was not dominance. This was presence, pure, effortless, undeniable. The cub paused beneath a sunbeam that poured through a wide marble opening, and the light followed him, as though drawn to the elegance of his tiny frame. His blue eyes shimmered like rivers beneath moonlight, reflecting pillars, fountains, and golden mosaics in perfect, trembling detail. For a moment, it felt as though the palace was watching him with pride. They say some creatures carry worlds within them. This cub was one of them, a symbol of gentleness wrapped in majesty, living not by force, but by grace. His story was not about power taken, but power revealed. And in this hidden realm of gold and silence, his legend quietly prepared to unfold into something far greater.
Deep inside the villa, beyond the grand halls and flowing fountains, there was a chamber few had ever seen, a place crafted not for royalty, but for something purer. Soft golden lanterns glowed along the walls, casting warm patterns across polished marble. The air carried a gentle scent of sandalwood and fresh rain. As the tiger cub stepped inside, the entire chamber responded, as though it had been waiting for him long before he ever arrived. The walls were carved with ancient scenes, tigers running under moonlight, guardians watching over their lands, and small cubs crowned with gentle halos of light. As he moved, the carvings shimmered faintly, like echoes of old memories waking up. It wasn't magic. It wasn't fantasy. It felt more like the villa was telling him a story written long before he ever took his first breath. At the center of the chamber lay a still, glass-like pool. The cub stepped close, and the water reflected him with such clarity that it felt alive. But the reflection did not mimic him perfectly. In the water, he looked older, stronger, almost regal, like a future waiting to unfold. A soft breeze moved across the surface, as if the villa itself was whispering, "This is who you're meant to be." A thin beam of sunlight slipped through a tiny opening above, landing softly on the cub's head. Not bright, not harsh, just warm, like a touch of approval.
The golden patterns on the floor glowed faintly beneath him. No ceremony, no throne, but the moment held the weight of a quiet coronation. He wasn't being crowned by people. He was being recognized by the villa itself. The cub turned toward the entrance, the light behind him, the shadows ahead. He walked forward with steps that no longer belonged to a small creature wandering a palace, but to a guardian who had just been awakened. His story was changing, and the villa had only revealed the beginning.
The moment he stepped out of the sacred chamber, the villa felt different, quieter, deeper, almost alive in a new way. Ahead of him lay an ancient garden, hidden behind tall marble pillars and veils of drifting sunlight. Vines wrapped gently around stone arches, their leaves trembling as if whispering his arrival. The air held the scent of warm earth and silent stories, stories buried beneath roots older than memory. As the cub walked in, the garden responded. Petals lifted, branches swayed, and the soft hum of life rose like a greeting from the soil. It felt less like he had entered the garden and more like the garden had awakened for him. A narrow pathway wound through the garden, paved with ancient stones, etched with swirling symbols he had seen glowing before. His paws touched the path gently, and the stones shimmered faintly under every step, a soft recognition, a quiet welcome. No voice spoke, no light burst forth, yet the cub felt guided, as though invisible hands were shaping his way forward. Trees leaned inward, casting shadows shaped like gateways, inviting him deeper into destiny. It was a path meant only for him, a journey carved long before his birth. At the heart of the garden stood an ancient monument, a stone platform surrounded by circling pillars. As the cub approached, the carvings on the pillars glowed softly, revealing silhouettes of guardians who came before him. Tigers with eyes like moons, guardians resting beneath starlight, cubs crowned not by rulers, but by destiny itself. The air thickened with warmth. A gentle hum rose from the ground, deep, old, resonant, as if the villa was inhaling after centuries of silence. The cub stood still, not afraid, but listening. This was not a command, it was an invitation. A beam of sunlight slipped through the open ceiling, soft, golden, almost liquid, drifting down until it settled upon the cub. The light wrapped around him gently, as if placing a cloak made of dawn over his small frame. The symbols on the stone platform brightened, casting shimmering reflections across the garden. It wasn't a ceremony, it wasn't a ritual. It was something older, something sacred, a recognition without words. The villa was not crowning him, it was revealing him. Not a king, not a ruler, a guardian. One chosen not by power, but by presence. The light faded softly, leaving behind a stillness that felt whole. The cub turned toward the arches, the garden glowing behind him, the villa waiting ahead, and a world beyond its walls calling quietly. His steps were calm, purposeful, no longer the steps of a cub exploring a palace, but of a guardian who had awakened to his path. The villa watched in silence, every stone, every shadow, every breath, knowing this was not the end of his story. It was the beginning of the legend he was born to carry.